What are the most important things you need to know before you get into collecting sneakers? It's critical that you do research. It's important that you find out what you're getting into, because if you don't, chances are you will be wasting a lot, and I mean a lot, of your hard-earned cash. So for this video, I'm going to share with you guys 5 important, super essential tips that you have to remember before you get into this hobby, which is collecting sneakers, streetwear, and even hype toys and collectibles. Let's go. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please make sure that you do so, because we do constant giveaways. In fact, we're giving away a Yeezy Boost 350 V2 Yeez Reel, as well as a bunch of gadgets. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button, follow me on Instagram, join our Facebook community, and then click the links down below for the rest of the mechanics of our ongoing giveaways. Now, to give you guys context, I've spent millions, literally millions of pesos on sneakers, streetwear, and collectible toys and gadgets. Now, throughout the last 3 years that I've spent, I have definitely made a lot of mistakes, as in a ton, and I've lost money. And the point of this video is for me to share the lessons that I've learned to you guys, especially to those who are just getting into this hobby or who are starting into it, so you know what to expect and you can avoid the mistakes that I made in my sneakerhead journey. The first and most important lesson before you get into collecting sneakers, streetwear, and toys is that you need to eliminate or minimize your debt. Because if you are in debt, if marami kang utang, what happens is you buy an item, you're not liquid enough, and when you need cash, when you're desperate for cash, you will sell your sneakers or your collectible toys or your art or whatever it is that you bought at a very low price. In short, nagbebenta ka ng sobrang palugi, parang tinapon mo lang yung pera. So it is super critical that even before you start getting into collecting shoes, before you start collecting toys, before you start collecting whatever it is that you want to collect, you are as much as possible debt-free. Now, what do you do if you are in debt? Well, live tight. That basically means don't spend a lot. And whatever money that you make, all of that extra, you really use it to pay off your debts. You pay off your utang. Because the only time you get to realize the value of your collection and your assets, if you are in a position to sell them na hindi ka nagmamadali. Because you can actually dictate the price, you can dictate the terms, and you can actually get profit once you sell your collectibles down the road. Now, let's say you're able to pay off your debt. You can't actually start yet collecting with your sneakers because you need to set up an emergency fund. It's a term that Dave Ramsey, one of the foremost experts in personal finance, has been espousing throughout the last few decades. I think decades or years. I don't know how old he is, but it is a very tried and tested formula. It works for me, and I think it'll work for you guys. So what is an emergency fund? Basically, compute what your monthly expense is, multiply it by 6, so you will have 6 months worth of living expenses in the bank, liquid, not invested. It's just there sitting. That is important because if something comes along that you need cash for, be it medical expenses, be it emergencies, or some unforeseen, unbudgeted item that you need to pay for, you have money to draw from. You have budget to draw from. Because again, if you've already paid off your debt, pero wala ka naman emergency fund, pag nagka-problema ka, ano gagawin mo? Ibebenta mo yung sapatos mo. Ibebenta mo yung binili mong painting. Ibebenta mo yung bare bricks mo ng palugi. So, lugi ka din, di ba? So, what was the point of investing in them in the first place if you will sell them at a big loss later on? So, it really doesn't make sense. So, the first 2 most important things, pay off your debt, set up an emergency fund, and that's when you start getting into investing into collectibles, be it sneakers, toys, stocks, whatever it is you want to get into. Third lesson that you guys need to know is that everybody is a reseller. What does that mean? You need to learn how to liquidate and sell sneakers that you don't use anymore. Because if you are, like me, somebody who will collect a lot of sneakers throughout his sneakerhead career, you only have 2 feet. There are only 365 days in a year. You cannot quite possibly wear all of the sneakers that you will buy all the time. So it doesn't really make sense to amass such a massive collection unless you're going to, put up a museum or you're going to sell them later on. So you need to be able to find out what are the best avenues to sell your secondhand sneakers. 2 tips that I can give you, well, 3 tips. Number 1, learn how to work with consignment stores. There's Cop Garden. They'll basically just get 10% off the price, and then there's no other fees for that. If you are collecting toys, you can rent a toy cabinet. They usually go for like 2,000 to 3,000 per month, and you can put your toys there, and then there's a dedicated sales lady who will collect the items. If you want to find other online marketplaces, of course, there's Carousel, which used to be OLX, so and Sulit, so you can put all of your stuff there and just wait for people to buy them once they have the money to buy them. My main issue though with OLX or Carousel is that a lot of people haggle a lot. Kind of takes up so much time. So maybe you might want to consider just checking out the consignment stores, because they will also market your products or your secondhand shoes for you. So when you get your money back, then you can buy other items that you also want. Number 4, and this is quite possibly one of the most important lessons that I need you guys to learn. There is always a better shoe after this release. You don't have to pay resale for all of the sneakers that you want, because all you need to do is to keep on joining raffles until the time that you can actually buy that Yeezy, you can buy that Jordan, you can buy that Off-White, you can buy that limited edition toy for retail prices. Now, if you have the extra cash and you feel that the prices will go up over time, or if you really love the shoe, then go ahead, buy it for resale. But the point there is you are already losing money. The reality is there are better shoes. There will always be better products down the road. You just have to wait. So if you lose on a particular Yeezy, then wait for the next Yeezy. If you lose on a Jordan, wait for the next Jordan. That's just how it goes. As much as possible, avoid paying resale and always try to be part of team retail. Number 5, try to make it a revenue generating hobby. What does that mean? It is a hobby that actually makes you money. It is not just a hobby that sucks out your cash. So for example, for me, I love shoes, I love toys. So what do? Well, I have this YouTube channel. So this YouTube channel is monetized. The videos have ads, I have sponsors, I get money from that. So the more sneakers I get to feature, the more toys I get to feature, I actually make more money. So it's a great way to be able to enjoy a hobby at the same time making money and not, draining all of your emergency funds and savings. So try to figure out how you can make money out of that thing that you are passionate about. For this instance, it is toys and sneakers. So what are the ways to do that? You can be a content creator, you can be a YouTuber, you can be an influencer with quotation marks. You can put up your own sneaker shop, you can put up your own streetwear business, you can design your own shirts if you're creative, you can look into peripherals of the sneaker industry that you can create a business out of. You can put up a sneaker cleaning shop, you can put up a duffel bag shop. I mean, there are just so many accessories and potential side businesses around sneakers and streetwear that you can get into, so that you can, not just minimize your expenses, but actually cash in on your passion and make good money doing what you love. As a bonus tip, let's say you already have a bunch of sneakers and you just want to enjoy them more. One of the best ways to be able to do that is to research on the designer, the design of the shoe, the story behind the sneaker, because you actually get to enjoy it more. That's actually one of the ways that you can use to prevent yourself from buying more sneakers, is to just be content and happy with what you have. And the way to extend that is by reading up, researching, knowing the lore, the story behind the shoe, the philosophy of the designer, because it creates like that deeper bond between you and the shoe. Wow, may bunch of shoe, parang Harry Potter 1 lang. So something like that, okay? So if you research, if you find out the story, you become more attached, so it becomes more sentimental and emotional for you. It's not just another shoe, and it keeps you more content and happy that way. So in short, to summarize, don't get into this hobby yet if, number 1, you're in debt, bound ka sa utang. Number 2, if your cash flow is tight, wala masyadong pumapasok na pera, the last thing that you need to do is to spend it on sneakers and toys. Number 3, when you don't have your emergency fund yet, because again, if you don't have that buffer, chances are you will sell your prized collectibles at a massive loss. Number 4, if you don't know how to sell in the secondhand market, because that will just keep on filling your house up with shoes and collectibles that you don't get to realize the value of later on. And number 5, if you can't figure out a way how to monetize it and create some sort of like side business. Number 5 is more optional. Obviously, not everybody has the time to be able to put up a business related to their hobbies, but it's always a good thing if you can. And for our Power Up Words of Wisdom for today, we have a very special guest. We have, my lovely wife, Michelle. Okay, so babe, what advice can you give aspiring collectors, sneakerheads or toys or whatever?
I think that you really should just be passionate about it. I don't think you should go into it saying that okay, there's value here, I can make money here. It's different when it comes from your heart. When you're really interested in the shoe, how it could add value to a person, or how fun it is. And one thing I like about Carlo is he just has fun.
Yes.
And it's contagious. So
Yes.
the more fun that you have, the more people who will understand why you're in it, and the more people will support you.
Oh, di ba? Sang ka pa. Yan na. Rare, if ano yan, rare appearance. Okay, guys, that's actually it for this vlog. Peace. God bless. What's up, babe? Boom.